All right, gamers, we're back for another Dokkan battle video. So it's time to talk about some more of what I think will be coming this week. I don't. It seems like every single day I'm seeing people on the timeline, seeing people on YouTube. They're saying tonight's the night. We're seeing Android 21's EZA. Now, I personally, if you guys have followed, you've heard me say I'm not so sure about Android 21's EZA. I'm leaning towards no on Android 21 getting an EZA. Now, I know it looks like it's very enticing, because if we actually take a look at the banner here, she obviously is here on the Dokkan Fest banner. There's one other banner I want to probably pull up, but so she's right here, and you might go, oh shit, okay. So she's, gonna be our EZA character, but keep in mind, Hirudegarn and Dragon Fist already EZA'd. The way these celebrations typically unfold, we essentially, in the first 2 weeks, I know a lot of people don't, I feel like people don't like really follow this shit as closely as I do, right? Like, but we have what is essentially maybe 80% of a normal celebration in the last 2 weeks. We've had so much, right? Like, actually, it's a avalanche of content the week of the 29th of July and the week of the 5th of August. We have had so fucking much content, right? Now we get to this week. Next week is GDC countdown stuff. We're going to get into the memorial stones. We're going to have maybe a full-on art reveal, maybe a countdown EZA, which we'll get more into in a second. But next week is going to be countdown stuff. I'm kind of sitting here thinking that this week is going to be very light, like an Extreme Super Battle Road stage and more bosses and Dokkan Frontier. Something like that is what I'm thinking. I think it's, again, we'll just read along my tweet right here. I think it's very likely this week has almost nothing. They front-loaded everything in the celebration. I'm not sure why they did this either. I don't know. I mean, we know GDC is coming up, but like, it's odd. It's odd. That's why I say very atypical behavior by Dokkan. Although, remember, Geppy is, there's very obvious things that Geppy has done differently compared to Amatsu. For example, Amatsu did not drop banners on the weekends. He just didn't do it on the Japanese weekend. But Geppy's done it multiple times this year, right? So like Amatsu in 5 years, there's no weekend banners. Geppy's just like, yeah, fuck it, weekend banner, right? And he's done it multiple times. So like things are like different, right? Compared to kind of like the Amatsu era. So next week, GDC countdown will be starting. If you get anything this week, it might only be something very light, like an Extreme Super Battle Road stage and more Dokkan Frontier. Now there has been talk of a world tournament as well. Yeah, right here. We'll talk more about this in a second. Proton did a follow-up about that. So Android 21 still could EZA, and that would bring us to this, but I don't know. We've seen them drop a bunch of banners. Let me just look at a couple of the, I could actually probably do this quicker on the Dokkan database site here. Let's just go to the banners that are not active right now. So we got Metal Cooler's banner. I mean, let's take a look at Beast banner, but that's not what I'm talking about. Metal Cooler. These ones were weird, right? They didn't have anything. What about Vegeta and Nappa? I want to take a look at Vegeta and Nappa, and we'll look at, fuck it, we'll look at that one right here. Alright, so Beast. I mean, so the multiple characters we have here who did EZA, it was the Cooler movie characters, right? And they did not have another character on the banner who's in range to EZA. Vegeta and Trunks already EZA. Tech UI Goku can't EZA till next year. Okay. So we come to the Metal Cooler banner, which, again, if you try and pull that shit up, oh my god, you told me to skip. You're fucking right, I did. This banner drops today, I'd say skip that shit. Look at this banner, dude. Worst banner of all time. But look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, fucking 4 characters in range to EZA. 4! And a Super EZA character. And First Form Frieza, who is not up for EZA, but remember, he's the March 2024 Dokkan Fest, right? So like he could like be one of the first up of 2024 characters to EZA, right? So like this is insane. But my point here is just because 21 is here doesn't mean she's going to EZA, even though she is due up for EZA, right? So would like to point that out. Let me take a look at Vegeta and Nappa's. Roshi, Rose, Ginyu's already EZA'd. Raditz did EZA. So this one had only Raditz. Yeah. Raditz is the only character in range to EZA, because obviously 16 and Tau are too new. Ginyu's already EZA'd. Rose is too early. Roshi is too early. And then Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta and Yamcha already EZA'd as well. And this is one of these weird banners. Yeah, Vegeta did EZA, and then the rest can't. Okay. So, all right, we got that. Let's take a look at what Proton says right here. So Proton, it's still waiting for EZA ID 208. So 206 was the Metal Cooler movie characters. 207 was Dragon Fist. 209 was Android 18 and Mamba. So that means 208 was, you know, developed in range with these characters. I mean, that looks like that could easily be Android 21 to me, right? Boom. Easy. Let's take a look at this. So we have 5 open slots for TUR EZAs. Transformations get an ID. Remember, 21 has a transformation, right? So 629, 631 are reserved for the Android 21 cards. Okay, so we're also putting in physical Android 21 into the batch as well. And then we have an empty spot right there, and we have an empty spot right there, which gets to the other character I think we potentially could be seeing. Although, remember, we could get 21 EZA this week still, and then next week we could get this fucking nasty idea right here. Yeah, so 21 this week, and then TEQ BARDOCK next week. TEQ BARDOCK, by the way, with this intro leading right into Namek Frieza would be nuts, dude. That would be so sick, right? And like Bardock, I didn't really get a great chance to shine back in 2022. He does good shit with the Scouter and the Rainbow Orb changing. All they got to do is give him some multiple turn support and some defense, and that TEQ BARDOCK would be a ridiculous character. Like I wonder, like how much are they gonna value that Scouter of his? With TEQ BARDOCK is a very intriguing unit to me because he could become better Tech Pan or something, right? Which would be crazy. That would be so good. So I'm very interested to see what they do with TEQ BARDOCK, right? Okay, so we have this right here. So like this just feels like it would be Dragon Fist and Hirudegarn, then 21, and then the Peppy Gal characters, right? Let's just quickly pull up Android 21. She is a Peppy Gal leader, but Peppy Gal is not even a team. It's completely dog shit. Maybe Evil 21 could she could get a sub EZA at the same time too. But the big thing about this girl right here, ding ding ding, Battle of Wits, which it's like this year the girl batch. It's not even a Peppy Gal batch, but this girl batch. I mean, it's more so like a Battle of Wits type thing we got going on. And 21 would fit in there nicely. 21 also could be, she's an Android character who potentially could be pretty good with the Android team. Now, this is what leads us into talk about GDC. The prevailing theory right now is the triple DBZ, right? End of Namek, end of Cell saga, and end of Boo saga, which means we could be talking about Android 21 EZAing right here, right? Being a buff to Arinsu and the girls, but don't fucking forget, Cell might be coming. Cell is a Big Bad Boss's character, which even though 21 is superclass, when she transforms, she has Big Bad Bosses. So that could be fucking huge for Cell on the Android team. 21 being a Big Bad Boss's character, right? Boom. So that would work well because she could be an EZA who could work very well with the, Arinsu and Pansy characters we just got and connect very seamlessly to potentially one of the main GDC parts. So 21 EZAing would make a ton of sense. And then oh, by the way, then we have Evil 21, who also has got big bad bosses, right? And both of these girls have Android Assault too. So they can kind of work well with Cell and with the other, you know, Android 16 and 17, 18 and shit like that. So it can work super well, right? Okay, so we got that, talking about that, right? But I'm still like, I'm not sure. I hope we see 21. That'd be good. Better than like a dead week, but I think we might not see too much this week. We'll see. Also, there's the possibility of a world tournament. The Raditz events have already been live for a few days on JP, with the Adventure of Gratitude special event scheduled to go live in 3 days. That is, I believe, the Kid Goku. It's this event. Let me just pull it up quickly. That's in the, it's in story, right? And that's going to be one of these, yeah, this right here. It's this. This right here is what it is. This always goes up with World Tournament, along with, you know, the Raditz event, and then the Videl, and yeah. Like this batch usually goes live when we're gonna get a World Tournament, right? Yep. And Global has nothing. Although I don't like Global not having anything, that's not a big deal, I think, because if, let's say there's going to be a World Tournament this weekend, I mean, this type of information could just be kind of corrected or fixed when they would do the data download, right? So like maybe we see Android 21's details, it would be the 11th at 4 a.m. my time, with a release on Thursday, and then World Tournament would start on the 14th. That to me makes like a ton of sense. That's kind of like normal timing on everything. So we could see that. Or I guess maybe there's no 21 easier. There could be no World Tournament. So, you know, just want to keep a heads up of all the possibilities that we have, right? And then holy fuck, dude, do I hope we see Bardock next week. That would be so sick. So, chat in the hat. Let me know what you guys think, but I'm very, very excited as we get closer to GDC. Even if this week is a dead week, ain't no problem, because next week is not going to be dead with GDC Countdown starting. So let me know what you angels think, and I'll catch you guys next time.